we're going to go ahead and get started here, guys. So I want to go ahead and people keep popping in for sure. I want to go ahead and just thank you all for giving up your precious summertime for even a morning to hang out with us. We had over 1,000 participants that signed up. So that tells me that this is a need and a want. And I think that's really, really cool. So this, of course, if you haven't already, and I think a lot of people have, not even a think, I know a lot of people have, but this will go really well with our Canvas class as well. So there are lots and lots of options to learn more about Canvas this year, and there will continue to be lots and lots and lots of options specifically tailored for your content area too. I was just talking with Anne Marie yesterday about doing some specific things for ELA, how to use it for writing instruction, how to use it for reading instruction. So I know with digital learning, that's going to be a lot of our focus. It's really tailoring specific to your specific needs and your specific level and your specific content area. So I wanted to go ahead and get started. I wanted to do just kind of a quick walkthrough I'm going to go ahead while I'm talking here and get my tabs all set up because I'm going to share my screen, and then I want to kind of send you off with an inspirational message for your morning. And okay, share screen. I'm going to go basic, and we're going to go screen. Okay, so I have here just what you probably have all seen. This is our Canvas class for CanvasPalooza. And when you log in, you are met with this page. You just click to enter. And then here's your session. How you'll navigate is these sessions are time coded here. So all this pink here is session 1. So you have 3 classes to choose from. And if you'll notice, they have different levels. So feel free to use that as a way to discern what you want to do. If the topic, maybe you're deciding between 2 topics, but one is a beginner and one is an intermediate, and you want to go for maybe that could tie break it for you. So if you want to attend, for instance, Andrea's Canvas for Littles class, you just click on this Zoom link here, and I'll be the moderator in this whole column. So I'll let you in, and Andrea's got some wonderful information that she's going to share with you guys. And that'll happen, that session will happen for 45 minutes, and we will end the session, and then you'll pick session 2 by choosing the link, and then a session 3. I definitely, and you probably will hear this multiple times, we would like you at the end or before you leave. I know some of you have to leave early for admin trainings and things like that. Before you leave, fill out the reflection and attendance form, and there is an option on each class choice to say, I did not attend this session. So you can choose for session 1 which session you chose, or there's an option that says I did not attend this session. That's going to help us keep track of what you learned and also your reflections for us, but also it's going to help us take attendance for Strive, because we want to make sure that you guys get your Strive credit. And that is basically that. So underneath, if you hadn't noticed, underneath the schedule is a list of the class descriptions. And what I did was I started off top left, and I did session 1 in order. So that description list will go Andrea, Trista, Pam, and then the next one on the description is Tiffany, and then Taylor, and then Trista, and then it's me and Ronnie and Charlie. But we have a session description, we have the presenter, and then I wanted to throw out the Twitter handle on there too to increase your PLN. Um, it's always awesome to cast wider nets. So if you have been working with people in your building, that's wonderful, right? But maybe think about working with people in other buildings that teach your same thing. Or sometimes, even on Twitter, think about people that teach outside of Birdville that teach your same thing. I host a conference in the summer that's an international conference. And it's really cool to take that concept of PLN internationally. I've met all kinds of cool people that teach English and math and science all over the world that way. So I would encourage you to use these Twitter handles and follow these people to increase your PLN. Other than that, under modules, we have the course materials if the teachers have chosen to fill those out. My class is actually completely in this module. Some, it may just be a link to their resources, and that's totally fine. This is also going to be, there's only 6 there now, but there's going to be one for each class. And this is going to be one of the places where we house the videos we are recording. So people can join at a later date and follow it. Or if you want to revisit something at a later date, you'll be able to do that with your registration. So this won't be something that you can only use one day. I think that is everything for the class. So I'm going to stop sharing real quick. And I want to kind of give us a little bit of a mindset shift. And so to kind of set the tone, I wanted to encourage you guys this year as we are kind of hoisting the sails on a new adventure with Canvas. I wanted to encourage your lateral thinking. And lateral thinking is maybe a term that you've heard and maybe not. Lateral thinking is, it's first coined by a man named Edward de Bono in 1967. It's closely associated with creative problem solving. And basically what it does is it means using different tools and concepts and novel ways of thinking in order to solve a problem. And then once you have a list, you can then choose the best one. So to give you an example of how that might work, probably a lot of you have done that query in a workshop somewhere where someone has asked you to brainstorm as many uses as you possibly can for a paperclip, right? And it's really easy to come up with 2 or 3. You can, clip papers with it. You can unbend it and, hit reset buttons on some tools, or CD trays if you still have some of those. But when you start thinking laterally, you have to think, can it be a paperclip that is 6 feet tall? Does it have to be a paperclip as we normally associate with it? Can it be one of those triangle-y paperclips, right? That's really where you're getting into the good stuff. That is where you are getting into divergent, cool, new ways and novel ways to look for solutions to your problem. And I wanted to kind of run this story by you real quick. I found it while I was researching this, and I think it's kind of a neat story. So I wanted to read this to you. Many years ago in a small Indian village, a farmer had the misfortune of owing a large sum of money to a village moneylender. The moneylender, who was old and ugly, fancied the farmer's beautiful daughter, so he proposed a bargain. He said he'd forego the farmer's debt if he could marry his daughter. Both the farmer and his daughter were horrified by the proposal. So the cunning moneylender suggested that they let Providence decide the matter. He told them that if he put a black pebble and a white pebble into an empty bag, then the girl would have to pick one pebble from the bag. If she picked the black pebble, she would become his wife and the father's debt would be forgiven. If she picked a white pebble, she need not marry him and her father's debt would still be forgiven. And then option 3, if she refused to pick a pebble, her father would be thrown into jail. They were standing on a pebble-strewn path in the farmer's field. As they talked, the moneylender bent over and picked up 2 pebbles. As he picked them up, the sharp-eyed girl noticed that he had picked up 2 black pebbles and put them in the bag. He then asked the girl to pick a pebble from the bag. And so this is where normally, if we would have more time, I would give you, and we would have a little discussion. I would ask you how you would handle that. If you were standing in the field there, how would you help intervene? What would you do? But I want to go ahead and read you the next section because I think it's a great example of lateral thinking. The girl put her hand in the money bag and drew out a pebble. Without looking at it, she fumbled and let it fall into the pebble-strewn path, where it immediately became lost among the other pebbles. "Oh, how clumsy of me," she said, "but never mind. If you look into the other bag, if you look into the bag for the other one that's left, you'll be able to tell which pebble I picked." Since the remaining pebble is black, it must be assumed that she had picked the white one. Now, that was kind of a cool way, and not a logical way necessarily, to solve that problem. And I want to encourage you this year with Canvas to think divergently. And I want to empathize with you for a second. We got into this business teaching because more than likely we were good students, okay? And good students, when they have a question, what do? They raise their hand and they ask for permission, right? Sometimes lateral thinking doesn't have time for that. And sometimes you guys know lesson planning doesn't have time for that either. So I want to encourage you to find different paths and different solutions to roadblocks you might face. I've told you several times in several conferences and webinars that there are multiple ways to skin the cat in Canvas, and there really are. And I would encourage you to explore multiple ways to achieve your purpose because they all have different effects. And I do want to show you one more thing. I'm going to share my screen real quick. This is something I enjoy doing with my teachers and with kids as well. I'll go ahead and share real quick. And it's this is a deck of cards, and it's called an Edison deck, okay? And you have lots of pictures over here. And it asks you questions like, what are some questions you would like to ask your grandparents? And the rules are you have to come up with 10 solutions for each question. And like I was saying earlier, the first couple are really, really easy, but it gets kind of hard. You have to really start thinking creatively for 4, 5, 6, and so on, okay? 7, 8, 9, and 10 kind of become easy, but you can feel yourself. There's sort of a mental hump you have to get over. And I think that's kind of a cool practice. I think it would be really cool to use with kids. I have an example of one. I have one in my office here, if you'd like to see it. But it's put out by this company called bestself.co. They have a series of cards, but I think this is the best one to use with kids and with colleagues. So with that said, we are going to get started here in about 10 minutes with our first session. I want to encourage you guys, before we get started, go real quick, warm up your coffee, get you some snacks, get comfortable. And a friend of mine told me this morning to tell you, good luck and go and change the world. I'll hang out for just a second if you guys want to ask anything or whatever, but you are free to hit those links and start signing and start waiting for your next sessions.
Owen, I wanted to jump in. Real quick, Owen.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was awesome. Just real quick, everybody, because we've had some people come in late. Something to just to know is that if you click on a session anytime in any of the time periods and you are not getting in, it might be because the room is filled. We have a 300-person capacity for each session. So definitely know that if you don't get into a room, click on another one for that time slot. And like we have said in the chat, all sessions are being recorded. Like Owen said, they're going to be on the Canvas course. We're going to put them online, so you'll have access to them next week. So definitely be, just know that if you're having issues, try another room and a different link.
Thank you, Taylor. And like I said, I'll hang out for just a second if you guys have any questions for me or whatever. But go forth and choose your classes and learn and be awesome and change the world.